Okay, so if you guys can't see, I'm like, please come, because we're gonna start with just a little video. So if you guys obviously need to get closer, come get closer.
Hello there. You're probably watching this either in a staff meeting or a staff gathering.
That's you.
Because your manager or owner has told you that they are bringing on Vish. And many of you are probably thinking like, whoa, 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 I like the way I do things. I'm comfortable with my creative process. Technology can stay out of the color room. And I'm here to say, I hear you. I'm Lindsay, and I'm a salon owner, I'm a stylist, I'm a colorist, and I've been in this industry a long time. And I can tell you that I, too, feared change when it came to my color process. But I'm also here to tell you that when I put aside my fear and embraced the technology that came with it and started adapting it into my salon and into my own clientele, I was amazed at the change.
There's really absolutely full creativity and full control of how you mix. I don't have to listen to a computer system to tell me how much to mix or which colors can go together. I can still be my full creative self, and I think that's been a really nice, pleasant surprise.
We can all remember a time when online booking didn't exist, when there weren't these robust POS systems to record every nuance of our business. But there never was really anything in the color room to record our nuances there. And there's a lot of nuance in our brilliance behind the station. And so to have something there to take away the human error and to let us just be creative was remarkable and quite frankly revolutionary. I can remember times where I would forget formulas just because I didn't have the time to write them down because I was too busy formulating them and creating them and tweaking them. So to have a system that records all of those pieces and just lets me be me and create was amazing.
Okay. All right, so here we are. We are starting with, pardon me, Vish today. I haven't talked a lot yet today. I apologize, I was a little froggy. My name is Casey. I am coming to you guys from Chicago. I've been a hairdresser for 23 years, so I always like to start with that so that you guys know that I'm not coming in from your manufacturer. I'm not coming in just from a tech company. As someone who doesn't understand the industry. I was user number 2 of this system back in like 2016. I have been an end user, and now I work for Vish 100% of the time because I believed in the system so much. And I understood what it was trying to deliver for us, and again, helping us with that, all of the things that we do behind the chair. And there's some things about our industry that I think we've always struggled with, and we were always just told, you know what, do better. And we've just kind of like, this is how it's done. And it's whoever trained us, you know, from how we fold our foils to the types of combs we use, to, you know, how when you stand there and you pick your favorite brush, right? Your clients ask where you are and you're like, picking that brush. It's gotta be the perfect brush to apply it. It's just kind of how we do things. So one of those things that we do, hello, how are you, is we forget to write our formulas down, right? Who's ever done that? Or you're gonna take someone else's guest and you go to the computer and there is no formula for that person, or it's an incomplete, or it's a formula from 2017. And we're like, what year are we in right now? Well, this could still be her formula. I don't even know. And that is like, we want to be able to deliver to our guests exactly what they're asking for. And when that information is missing, we tend to, you know, have to toss it up to the color gods. So the first and coolest thing about this system is that you guys will never again have to hand record a formula or trust, you know, that someone else is going to hand record the formula in the way that you needed it. I was telling them a story yesterday. I don't know if you guys have ever heard. There's a huge chain of salons in Illinois called Mario Tricosi. It's been around for, you know, like 50 years. I was training their stylist once, and one stylist was out of the salon for a month, and another stylist was taking one of her guests. They book on the 30 minutes there, every service, doesn't matter. And the formula in the computer was written in such a code that no one understood it. The only person who understood that code was the person who was gone for a month. And it took the entire 30 minutes and 6 other colorists trying to help this poor girl decipher the color formula. The entire appointment time went by. And I went, wow, if only you were getting trained on a system that would now record that formula for you 100% of the time to the cloud. You're always gonna have history for that guest, and you're gonna develop a library of history specific to your guest that you can pick and choose from. You can tweak it. You can keep that relationship evolving because you'll be able to see what was that low light I did 3 visits ago that she now wants to do as an all over color. And I can now take that, tweak it, and adjust it to whatever the guest is asking for today. One of the other things that I know that we've struggled with is inventory, right? Who hates being out of stuff? Or is there anyone here who kind of gets that secret thrill of taking 2 random things and trying to make a 5 out of a 4 and a 9, and you know, you're like, okay, how much?
This location is known for.
Yeah, I mean, some people are really good at that. I don't know about you, but that gives me so much anxiety to even think about that when you're like, shoot. You know, it's easy. If I can take, you know, a 7 and a 9 to make an 8, I can do it. Anything outside of that, I start to sweat profusely. So inventory, and how do you guys handle it? Who counts inventory here? That's you. How long does it take you?
Too long.
Too long. All right, and is like you have to probably stop a lot because you're in their way, and then you guys are kind of like, hey, you know, you're moving her and she's got to get the sheets. So that's the other cool benefit of this is that no longer will you have to like worry, you know, some salons save the box tops or you have the special trash can. Just by mixing in Vish, she's gonna have an accurate record down to the 10th of a gram of every single product that's been dispensed, and she's gonna be able to generate a purchase order and order your products in a timely fashion. So it's not taking all day and then she gets distracted and then a whole other day goes by and the order still hasn't been placed. Or like you get stuff's wrong, you ended up with 14 extra of something you never use, right? And then money is just kind of going down the drain. We don't want that. So this system is going to help with inventory, and it's gonna help with formula recording because you're gonna have that formula again forever, not just in Vish, but you'll also have it in Boulevard, because the formula will also push back to the computer system. So if your guest does want to travel between locations because maybe you're taking a personal day or you're gonna be out of the salon or you're gonna start doing a couple days in another location, you're gonna have that formula in Boulevard as well. So pretty cool, right? Now, I'm sure some of you guys watched the video or you're looking at this and you're thinking this seems interesting, right? Yeah, technology's coming in. How much time is it gonna take me? That's one of my first questions. It's like, seems cool. I know that I'm a fast mixer and I know I don't waste, so I don't need this system. That's awesome. That's amazing. I love that you are so fast and that you know how much and you've been doing your clients forever. However, times are changing, right? We don't walk onto the street and hail cabs anymore, right? We use an Uber, we use app. We can order groceries and Amazon and everything to our home. It is kind of about time that we use technology in the color bar to start tracking all of those little things. So if you know, who does formulas where they do a of something, right? You might call it something else. You might call it a chocolate chip or a stripe, or you might do what I just did and go, yeah, I need a of that. Vish can record all of that for you. So if you have to come back and mix more, it'll even know how much more of the you need to add to your formula. You guys have assistants here and you work really hard to make sure that they're trained properly. Your assistants can really, really help you because they don't have to like yell across the salon or saying, wait, how much did you want of this or how much? And you're writing things down and it's scribbling and it takes time. It can be all right here. There's a visual. They know how much you want. You can say, hey, go mix me 50% more of my Blondor formula, please. Vish does the math for them. So it really, you're gonna get those perfect formulas every time. Who's a consistency mixer? Who likes to mix their lightener to consistency? Anyone? Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So whether you're like a hard, fast 1 to 2 or a 1 to 1.5, which I'm a 1 to 1.5 girl, or you're just like, you know, I need to feel this out. Vish is gonna accommodate, but how cool if you're a consistency mixer and I mix up a bowl and I go away and I'm like, gosh, you know what? I need enough for this section, right? You always get to that section and you're like, I can't. And you're scraping it off the brush and you're trying to get 2 more foils. If I need to come back and ask Vish for 10% more of my formula, do you want to do the math on that? No, Vish is going to do the math. And it's still going to be in your consistency of however you've mixed it. So it really will adjust to your creative process. So whether you're a person who's hard, like I like 1 ounce, and 2 ounces, you can do that. If I'm like and I'm going to squeeze a 1/4 tube and I like to feel this out, Vish will record that for you. And then when you need to mix from history, you'll have that history to mix for your guest. And that's a cool thing to tell your guests, right? That their formula is saved forever. Why would they want to go someplace else? Has anyone been listening to their clients or seen the stuff that's on social media right now? Our industry is getting it's a lot. People are flooded with all the different ways they can do their hair. How they can do their hair at home, how they can go here and do this. We want to make sure that we're elevating that level of service for our guests each and every time, because guests will absolutely still spend what we need them to spend as long as they know they're getting the care and the effort on our side. So when you can say, I am recording this formula down to the smallest increment, it's going to be saved forever. I'm going to be able to repeat it. And if I'm not here, trust me, anyone else is going to be able to repeat this formula for you so you get what you want each and every time. Our guests are going to feel very taken care of, and it's really going to help with client retention. So let's talk about how much time it's going to take us. So this first time, this first 30 days, it is going to take an extra minute. It might feel sometimes like you're standing here for 30 minutes. I promise you're not. It's an extra minute, but we're going to learn all sorts of ways to make this as fast as possible from the jump. I'm not going to debate with anyone that just throwing a bowl on a counter and throwing a bunch of stuff in it is it is the fastest way to mix. But when you do a scoop and some developer and you're like, cool, how much did you just mix? How do you know that it's appropriate for her head shape, her texture, her density? We really don't. We're taking all that precision and consistency that our guests really demand, and we're kind of throwing it out the window at that point. So the extra minute that it's gonna take us today is going to get faster and faster the more that we invest our time into understanding the system. I mean, we are on apps and we're on our phones all day long, every day now. This is no different. Don't make it into a big mean animal. It's just the same as when your phone updates and you gotta figure out where the new buttons are. Does anyone remember when you went from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 12 and there was no home button anymore? That took me a good week, honestly, to stop trying to press the home button and learn how to swipe on my phone. It's no different, it's just the same. So let's talk a little bit about one of the other reasons that Vish was created, and that is that we end up wasting a lot of color sometimes. There's a lot of color that goes down the drain, and it's nobody's fault, right? Just, we know what we're supposed to mix. Math can be really tricky sometimes, so we stick to those 1 ounce, half ounce. We can't, the smaller increments are hard. And that's why manufacturers do that, because they know that we're not maybe the most mathematically inclined. But a lot of color ends up going down the drain. Or when we do have to come back and mix more, and you need a little bit, we're gonna come back and probably do a half or another full, and then we're gonna end up wasting all that color. What that means is that it's 13 million pounds of hair color that goes into our environment every year. 13 million pounds. That's the average salon, a 6 to 8 chair salon, throwing away between 10 and 12 tubes of color a week. Think of how much money that is and how bad that is for the environment. The cost of color is going up every year, sometimes twice a year we're getting cost increases. So when we're coming back with little bits of color, and it's all going down the drain. That's going into our soil, into our water, and into our air. It is bad for the environment. It's all those chemicals do lead to things like red tides, and we want to protect the environment. You guys want to have beautiful beaches to go to on your weekends. I mean, I'm hoping to get to the beach sometime while I'm here too, because, Lake Michigan is cool, but it's not as cool as the Gulf of Mexico. So, less salty, but yeah. So we want to make sure that we're keeping the money here in the salon and that we're ensuring that we have the doors open for the next 20, 30 years. So we cannot continue to be throwing away color and color and color. And you know what they say, it's when you always do what you've always done, we're never going to get anything different. And so by investing a little bit of time today, we're going to not only help the environment, we're going to be able to help the bottom line, we're going to ensure that we have a profitable place to work, and we're gonna make it a nice experience for our guests, because you guys can share this with your guests. Why did we bring on this system? Why is it gonna take me an extra minute to mix your color today? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you. I'm learning this cool new system. Let me take a picture of what their formula looks like. They're gonna think it's super cool. They're gonna, do your clients ever make comments when they hear you discussing color formulas and they're like, what did you guys just say? That sounded so, wow. When you show them how you're adapting technology into taking care of their formula, they're going to think that that's amazing. And they're like, wow, I had no idea. And so show them a picture. Talk to them about the environmental impact of this industry. Talk to them about what you're trying to do to elevate their service. They're gonna thank you for it. So let's just get straight to the point here, right? Obviously, this is our scale. Or sorry, this is my tablet. This is my scale. So I know you guys mix on scales now, and sometimes those scales probably have a lag, and the battery may get knocked loose. This is an electromagnetic scale. It is accurate down to the 1/10 of a gram, and it is real time. So as you're, like I said, doing that of color, it's gonna register. It's gonna register as you're pouring. There's not gonna be a lag of like, okay, let me pour, then wait a second till it balances out. It's a very, very sensitive scale plate. It is also sensitive from all 4 sides, not just the top. So if there's any tornado Sallies that you work with that like to just throw their color bowls and towels and their body and they wanna lay on the scale, keep everything kind of away from the sides. It is very, very sensitive. And so if you have anything touching the side of the scale, it's gonna add weight to what you're measuring. Doesn't matter what container you wanna use, it's gonna tear out the empty weight of the container when you start. So everybody's gonna get their own pin for Vish. And when you log in, you're gonna see your schedule. You do not have to search and schedule your own guests. Hi, how are you? Everybody's gonna be here waiting for you because we have a relationship with Boulevard. We're gonna also be able to do this on our phones. So if you want to just kind of sit down with a cup of coffee in the break room, go through your day in Vish, you can do it from home, you can do it here, and prep your day. So you can go through, see what every person has scheduled. So when I touch a name, I see what they've scheduled, and I'll see all of the services that they've scheduled. You'll see I also have an add services here, so I can always add on for my time. This is gonna really help you think about that service ticket and adding on for my time. Am I adding on a little bit of a foil? Am I adding on a glaze? Am I adding on a treatment? This is all here in Vish, so I can make sure that I'm accounting for my labor and my effort. So I am going to add a bowl. It's all about finding the words you want and touching them. There was a button that said add a bowl, so I'm gonna add a bowl. Everybody is new the first time, so I've got these options of starting a new formula, mixing from history, or mixing from favorites. Because I'm gonna have those guests, and I'm sure you guys do, that are here like every 3 weeks, right? Your 3-week Bettys. You can make those formulas favorites and then save every favorite formula for Betty. And so when Betty comes back, maybe she goes back up north and then she comes back, you'll have her favorite formulas. So I'm gonna start new. I've got all of my product lines right here, right? So if I'm gonna want Wella, I want Wella. And I've got all of the options here too. I'm gonna suggest that we narrow it down. So if I'm doing a custom foil refresh, and apparently I have a meeting starting back in, that's what that was. I'm gonna go to Blondor, and I've got my Blondor products here. So basically I'm just creating my shopping cart. Whatever I want, I touch it, and it gets a little check mark. If I wanna mix 3 bleaches together, I touch them. I can add whatever I want to my cart. Vish is never gonna care if you wanna mix random products together. If you wanna mix Illumina with KP, go ahead. We don't care. You wanna mix Color Touch with Shinefinity, go ahead. Vish does not care. You can really select as many products as you think you need. I'm just gonna select one for right now though. Come on, there we go. I add it to my formula and I come in and I grab my developer. And again, if I want 2 developers, I pick 2 developers. I wanna make 15 volume, I wanna make 25 volume, 35 volume, I do it. Because this is a practice, I'm gonna do 40 volume, even though I almost never use 40 volume, but it's practice, I can. Let's blow the cuticle. So I've got my products here, and I add it. This screen you can invest as much time in as you want. I like to invest it, so I can do this from my phone. I'm gonna plan out where I'm going. I like to know that for this custom foil refresh, I'm not gonna like start with an enormous bowl and then it's gonna end up getting wasted. So I'm just gonna start with like a 1/2 ounce and my 1 to 1.5 developer. The math will all be done. If I don't like to I just want to do a scoop and see what it looks like, because you said you're like a consistency mixer, don't set a target weight for it. But you can set your developer ratio if you want. I always recommend, so you may not know how much of your 2 KP shades you want, but you know KP mixes at a 1-to-1. And you can set that. So whatever you end up squeezing in, Vish is doing the math, and you're gonna be able to squeeze the right amount of developer. That's it, you guys. I've planned it. I can either save it for later, go take a blow dry, or I can go ahead and mix now. And it's gonna tell me when to put the bowl on the scale. So I said, I chose this bowl today for this service. If I have to mix more, I can do it in the same bowl. I can get a different bowl. The next time she comes in, doesn't matter. I can use whatever bowl I want. The point is like, you don't have to only use like the Wella bowls. You can, I always joke, mix in a teacup if you want. It's fine. Vish will recognize it. So here's my mixing screen. Now, I set target weights for myself. I've made it, this is what makes it super easy. I want you guys to like watch my little balloon here, right? I have a 1/2 ounce of my lightener. I just have to fill my balloon. It's fun, it's pretty, kind of makes it a game because, ooh, look, it's green. I got my target weight like right on. If I go a little over, it's not gonna yell at me, but it is gonna tell me I went over my target weight. It's red. I have the ability to balance it if that bothers me. So let's say I did have 3-4 different colors. And one was at a 1/4 ounce, one was at 3/4 of an ounce, one was at, and I went over on one. I can balance the whole formula so it stays exactly how I want it. Does that make sense? Do I have to? I don't have to. I mean, I like to because I like the green. All right, that's it. I'm ready for my developer. I had asked for a 1 to 1.5 ratio. Look at that, my math is done. So it's telling me exactly how much I need if I want a 1 to 1.5 ratio. So I don't have to do the math on that. Specifically too, with those, or, So I'm gonna watch this balloon again. All right? That's it. If I wanna pick it up and stir it, see how it feels? I can. It's gonna let me right back in. And if I want to adjust something, it's too thick, it's too thin, then again, that consistency is mine. And if I have to come back and mix more, it's still in my consistency. So that's it. I've mixed it. It's done. I'm going to tell Vish I'm done. I'm going to log myself out because I'm going away to apply my color, and that's it. Now, in an effort to help with that environmental issue and to help cut down on color waste, without having to feel shame, right? Sometimes when you come back and you have a lot left over, does anyone feel really guilty? And you try and like sneak and maybe like, oh, no one look at this. No more of that. That's silly. Sometimes color gets overmixed. It just happens. You overestimate how much you needed. You also shouldn't have to remember 8 weeks from now, I remember when I did this and I think I overmixed it, but how do I mix less? How do I mix less and get exactly what the results that I wanted? We're gonna ask you one new step. We're gonna ask you to reweigh your bowl at the end. It is a 5-second step, but it is a new part of your process. I have measured this. I measure whatever I want, whatever is left over, whether the bowl is empty, whether it's full, somewhere in between. We're gonna come back and we're gonna reweigh. And everybody can help with reweighs. That's a great thing to get the assistant started on, is they can be the reweigh champions. Is when you reweigh the bowl in Vish, we are going to subtract anything that's left over for you, rebalance the formula for next time. So when you mix that formula from history, it has been readjusted, and that's how those formulas become very unique and specific. It is truly customized hair color. It is customized for her head shape, her texture, her density, and the effect you were going for. You can really tell someone, this is not just another Blonde Orange 20 volume. This is your Blonde Orange 20 volume. It's just for you. Because it'll now, just the waste will take care of itself. Our goal for the first 30 days is that you're going to mix 100% of your formulas in Vish. We're gonna put the other scales away, and you're gonna try to reweigh the bowl 90% of the time. If we can maintain a 90% reweigh, you won't have to change anything else about what you're doing. The waste will literally just take care of itself. And you don't have to think about it anymore. And you don't have to like get, the meetings every 6 months going, hey, you guys, our color costs are out of control. And we're gonna have to, do this, or we're gonna it'll take care of itself. And we don't have to change what we're doing. Any questions on that so far?
How do you reweigh?
Let's do it, shall we? Well, you know what we're gonna do first? Because what if this is a custom foil refresh? I think I've run out. I need a little more. We're gonna come back and mix some more. And then we'll reweigh. How's that? Yeah. So I ran out. I made it to the top. I need to come back and I need to mix enough just for the top. So I've got my guest. Again, it's finding the words I want and touching them. I'm gonna see, here's the bowl that I've been working on. It even says, in progress. I want it, I touch it. Look at the options I've got here. What do you think I'm here to do?
Reweigh.
Not yet. Mix more.
I'll mix more. That's
Yes, sorry, I put you on the spot. Sorry. You're like, I don't know. Reweigh is the first option and is a pink button. It's hard to not want to press the pink button, but I'm here to mix more. Find the words I want and touch it. This is my favorite part. I just have to tell Vish how much. I've got percentages. So how much of the head do I have left? Do I have 10% of the head left? 25% of the head left? I like 25%. I also always have a custom option. So if I want to come back and just mix, I just need another ounce. You can say just 1 more ounce. It's up to you. I just like the percentages because I think it's easy and I think of the zones of the head. So I want 25% more. I am not using a new bowl. Next. I don't have to do this math. Okay, can you guys see how I've got like a little space open there now in my teardrop that used to be closed? That's my 25% more. Right? So I just have to close my little balloon up again. I'll show you. It's pretty fun. Here, did you guys see? I've got an open space in my balloon. So we're gonna close my balloon. Here's my powder, right? Cool. Now it's recalculated for my developer. I've got an open space in my balloon. I'm gonna close it. I've kept my precision. I've kept the consistency. I came back, just got enough to come do my 5 more foils. I'm done. I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna go away. Visual's now added that all together. I'm gonna go away and apply it. Whatever is left over, empty or full, I'm gonna come back and reweigh. If you do scrape the bowl, amazing. Still come back and reweigh. Vish wants to know you used it all. We wanna know how efficient you are. Because you guys, then you might be the benchmark. We know that like you see 3 times as many clients as everyone else and you use your color every single time. How do you do it? We'll wanna learn from you. So even if it's full, or what you think is empty, come back and reweigh.
What if the guest checks out?
Totally fine.
And
You can still, yeah, absolutely, yes. Does it have to be done the moment like the color's done? No, if you need to run to the bathroom, go run to the bathroom, then reweigh your bowl. It's okay. It just has to be done sometime during today, like the calendar day. Yes, before midnight, yeah. But obviously too, I don't like to keep like stacks, but you can always ask a teammate. Yeah, so I log back in, same steps you guys. Here's my client. Come on, there we go. I've still got my bowl in progress. I touch it, first option, reweigh. It's a new step, 5 seconds. And it's gonna tell me how successful I am. I get a big happy green check mark. Someday, you're gonna see shooting confetti when that happens. I've asked for it for 6 years. I've been told I'm gonna finally get shooting confetti. So the moment, if you guys reweigh and you see shooting confetti, just know that that's the day I retire, right? That's it, I'm done. I will achieve nothing higher in my life than giving everyone, because who doesn't want shooting confetti? Wouldn't that make it a reweigh happier? But sorry, I digress. I'm right? Or glitter, something? Glitter makes everybody happy.
Will it still say continue mixing if they checked out? Like if they're gone, or will it be a different screen? Like
Oh, it'll still say, you'll still get the same options.
it'll still say
Yep.
like they're
Yes.
in progress.
Yes, and continue mixing is really reserved for that specific, because you saw it said reweigh, mix more, continue mixing. You've mixed a bowl of lightener, and you go back to your station, you start chatting, you have to go take a phone call, something, and then you come back and your lightener has like seized, right? It's turned into cement. And you're like, I want to come back and I just need to adjust this. Continue mixing is really for that specific moment where I'm like, I just need to get right back into my bowl. I forgot to do an additive. I forgot to put Olaplex in my form. You know, I want to add a little bit more developer. That's what continue mixing is for. Mixing more is coming back. I've run out and I want more. And like for the assistants, if you ask us, hey, could you go mix me more? Yeah, 25%. And could you up the developer for me? They can do all of that from here. And they'll know exactly how much they need. And all they have to do is just swap out the ingredients. So if you want to chase your developer from a 10 to a 20, easy breezy. You just give clear instructions. And you guys will know what to do too, and it's fun. So, questions as of right now?
If you forget to weigh it at the end, and let's say somebody bowl's gone, whatever, but that's still going to be there when you come in, it's no big deal.
Yes, I was going to make a joke of being like, baby Jesus cries, but he doesn't care. If you forget to reweigh, you forgot. Don't stress.
Whatever that bowl is still in there.
Yes, you'll still have it to mix from history. It just won't be reweighed. It won't be recalculated. And it happens. There was a couple of them that happened yesterday. You know, you're so used to just doing the toner, you know, even rinsing it right here at the shampoo bowl, and then you're like, oh, shoot. Don't stress. Just say, I'll get it next time.
But the goal you said is 90.
The goal is 90% or higher. Yes. That is my goal for you, 90% or higher. And I think we can do better than 90%, but I know, long time of doing this, if we can maintain a 90%, literally, we will watch that waste just go away. So, any other questions right now? Yes?
This came up yesterday. So somebody went and prepped all their formulas
yeah.
for them. They put them in there. Then the guest came in and they said, oh, I'm not going to use this formula that I
Yes.
made because the hair is different now. What's the...
I mean, I think there's always more than one way to do things. So yeah, you've prepped a formula based on what they had the last time in the computer. So let's just say it's a 6-stroke 0, a 5-stroke 0, and 20 volume. They come in, you can change. So I would look at what you've prepped. If there's absolutely nothing you're going to use, I would maybe just do a whole other bowl. You could just add a bowl, remove that one. If it's like, oh, I'm going to change from a 6 to a 6-3, we can swap or remove 1 or 2, and you can keep what you've got, and I can either swap that ingredient, the 6 for the 6-3, and remove the 5, like you can adjust it. Same thing with a formula from history, is here's what I've got from history to mix and Vish. You'll be given that option again of like, do I want to change anything? And you can swap ingredients, remove them. You know, they've pushed their appointment out 2 weeks. Vish gives you the option to go, okay, I need more today than what my reweigh was. And it'll do all of that math. So you can always change stuff.
So just because you prep it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's mixed. It's
Yeah.
not mixed. So that's
Yes.
just,
And so too, when you're looking at your schedule in Vish, if you think you're going to do, you know, what's your quick gloss, you're going to add something on, and you want to get it prepped in Vish, even if it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to see if she wants like a nice clear gloss today. Prep it in Vish. If you don't mix it, no big deal. No big. If the guest cancels last minute and you have a formula prepped, no big deal. Nothing is going to automatically change their ticket in Boulevard without your permission.
So when you said are they going to be kind of joined?
Yes, so Boulevard gives us a lot of information. The only thing they take back from us is the formula. So, but they have a ticket window that she'll have on the front desk that's going to be the real time. So whatever you're doing here and you want it to be updated for Boulevard, do it here. So whatever I'm going to add on for my time. I'm going to add on services. I'm going to upgrade from a retouch.
There, it's
Yep.
going to come to the...
She's going to be able to see it. Yep, and she can get the ticket updated.
Now, let's say there's 3 people who need color, and there's obviously 2 and 2. Can they check Boulevard to get the formula so at least they have that and then go to
well, you can do it with your phone.
Yeah, you can do it from your phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if 2 people are measuring and you're like, I'm gonna get, so yeah, grab your formula from Boulevard, get it prepped on your phone, save it for later.
That formula goes,
yep.
the new one will go into Boulevard automatically?
Yeah, once you have to be measured. If you don't measure it here, it won't obviously.
Right.
But
You don't
yes,
have to put it in both. You don't have to put it in both.
yeah, you can just put it in one or the other. Yeah, you're obviously, you just have to do it here. And whatever you've mixed here, again, whether you reweigh it or not, you'll have that formula note in Boulevard. You won't have to record it anywhere.
And right now with tickets and everything, I think it's probably best, we'll just focus on this aspect of it and then we'll figure out.
Yeah, the change is this, is that before somebody checks out, the Vish application up front will be checked. Because that's gonna know what happened in the back, because it's gonna get updated here.
Yep.
If they did a glaze, a gloss.
Oh yeah, so that you don't have to you don't have to also like, okay, I'm adding on this or I'm changing this. You don't have to like do something here, then go to Boulevard, change it, then come back here and go, wait, what was it? Just do it here. Just do it here and then just, I think too, going forward, and this is gonna be a learning process for everybody, also give each other some grace, this is a learning process, is starting to let the front desk know, hey, don't forget to check Vish, Vish is correct. Especially if you know you've changed something. Just go, hey, Vish is correct. So they especially, oh, let me check Vish. I see, oh, she had scheduled a retouch because I have that in Boulevard. She upgraded her to an all over and some dimensional color and an oil treatment.
And that's really like super crucial part for like
Yeah.
associates too. Like when you're coming to bring the products, then you can be like, Vish is also updated too.
Yeah.
Like,
Just let her know, hey, Vish is
Process
updated.
is always gonna be Vish check.
Yeah.
Vish check always.
Yeah. Eventually, the whole little extra ticket thing at the front desk will go away, and whatever is done here will automatically integrate and just change. But again, you'd still have the option to approve. Hey, this is showing that you did a full foil, not a foil. Do you want to approve this? Yes, but it will upgrade it automatically. But that we're just not there with Boulevard yet. We're there with another company, but Boulevard will be, once we get this company straightened out, other companies will go, yes, please.
what other software?
We integrate with like 11, 13 different software companies. So, I mean, kind of, you think of all the big ones, Forest, Mevo, Booker, Rosie, Aura, Boulevard, Salon Biz.
Which one's the one that, I'm just curious.
It's Forest. Forest was our first integration. So they were the first company that allowed the talking at all. But I said, once we kind of get that, and since they were the first, the other companies are already like, oh, you're getting this worked out, are you? And because it is obviously not just our tech, we have other, Boulevard has its own API that we have to figure out how all that talk to each other. And because we can't mess anything up for Forest, or for Boulevard, sorry. They won't like us anymore if we do that, so, yeah. Any other questions right now?
A couple points I want to
Yes.
add. One is if a coworker, this is how inventory is going to be done. So if a coworker gets their hair done, it has to go in the system, where the system won't know we use that color. So there's going to be a way for that. Or if you're doing a model, that has to be put into the system. And it will know the cost of what that is. There's a different way for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so like every service that's in Vish, and some of this, I don't want anyone to get super wrapped up in what stuff costs. Like, I want you to mix what you mix. I want you to mix 100% of your services in Vish. We're gonna be chatting this whole time, and we're gonna have regular touch bases to kind of figure out what's gonna work best as far as like what we're gonna do about pricing, because Vish can help charging for extra product, but we're not at that moment yet. And we can make it super easy and way less emotional to charge for extra product when we have to use extra.
Really customizable. That
Yes.
won't be sitting there for 30 minutes being
Yeah.
like, is this a half?
Or
is it 6 full
you sometimes have those moments where you're like, it's a single process retouch. I literally added on 5 foils. I don't want to add on a whole foil service that's maybe, $115 service. I'm just going to mix 5 foils. Vish will be able to tell you what the exact product cost of that is, so that I can go, yeah, you know what, this is Betty Sue. I've been seeing her for 14 years. I'm going to charge her for my single process. I'm comfortable for charging for my time that way. And I'm going to let Vish assess how much extra product I used. Because I'm just going to mix a little extra and I'm going to call it extra. Or we're going to have ways that if you need to charge more for your time, you'll have things that you'll be able to very clearly go, okay, I needed this. Sometimes it's just about time. Sometimes it's just about extra product. Sometimes it'll be about both, but we'll decide that kind of evolving. Charge however you've been charging right now, but use Vish to help you make sure that you're accurately tracking your time.
How do you, so like, let's say somebody's mom comes in, it's not
Yeah.
on the book.
Oh, so I'm so sorry, I got distracted. Yes, Oh, you can add people into this. Just because, yeah, you don't have to put it into.
It doesn't do anything with Boulevard.
Nope.
No, that's just for the
Yeah.
color for inventory purposes.
But you
Well-
should add it to Boulevard.
Well, if you're,
Boulevard, so it crosses over, you don't just add it.
well, if you're doing you're doing an employee's hair because you've had a big cancellation, you don't have to, you can keep your books open. You can just mix it in Vish and it will track everything. So you don't have to put it in Boulevard first if it's just a model or an employee, or I said your mom wants to come in. You wouldn't necessarily have to put, you can just add it to here and get that mixed.
Reporting,
Um,
matching reports.
Oh, well, like I said, that's up to him. He's the boss. I'm not. But we have services that every service has an included amount of product, right? A retouch gets a standard amount of product, 1.5 ounces of color and 1.5 ounces of developer. That's in Vish. We go with the base life permanent color retouch is KP, right? So you decide to use Color Touch, you decide to use Shinefinity, you decide to use Illumina. There's variances through all of that, but Vish knows like, hey, this is kind of the baseline that we're judging a retouch. If you're gonna do a model or you're gonna do each other's hair, we just don't put the baseline. You're able to just go, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do on this model's hair, or I know what I have to accomplish. It will track the exact cost of the product. So you can tell a model like, you don't have to pay a service fee, you just have to pay for the product I used on you. And it might be $10.86, it might be $23.86, if you did a full foil and a glaze. It'll be able to just tell you exactly what you've paid. So same thing for each other. You're just doing a quick retouch, 10, 12 bucks. You're doing a gloss on someone, or a few foils, you'll be able to track exactly the product cost and just pay for that. Does that make sense? So you'll have employee services and model services that will get added in too. So, yes.
No need to worry about mixing too much.
No.
Having a lot of stuff left in the bowl. Don't worry about any of that right now. We're just trying to
Yeah.
establish a baseline of where
Yeah.
we are so we know what.
I want you guys to mix what you're used to mixing right now. Like if you're used to squeezing out this much, just do it. Reweigh the bowl. As long as you get it mixed in Vish and you reweigh the bowl, everything else is, will get worked out later. So yeah, don't try and adjust, be like, oh my God, now I'm supposed to do this much and this much. No, just mix what you would normally mix for that person. Does that make sense?
And I think for everybody, it's our main focus today is making sure it's not thinking about money or how much you're using.
No.
Just specifically making sure that it goes into Vish and then checking it afterwards as well. Like doing the reweigh.
Yeah, starting that conversation of, hey, don't forget to check Vish. Hey, Vish is correct.
So it's
Oye, Vish, check the Vish. I think that might be the vibe here.
That's our new
That's motto. Yep. I think we should get t-shirts. What do you think? Yeah. Oye, Vish, check the Vish. Yeah.
So Virginia and Edgar are up here, right?
Correct.
So, any other questions before we kind
For that
of,
tomorrow.
because we need to get everyone's pins set up, and if you guys haven't already, download Vish 2.0 to your phones. If you, I don't know why you wouldn't want it on your phone. If you don't, I'm not going to force you. But it does make things faster. Yeah, Mike, go get your phone. If you have an Android, you have to go to the Google Play Store, and if it's obviously Apple, you go to the App Store.
Can you talk to Gina?
How do will the scale be connected to the app?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it'll just kind of prepare.
And you don't have to put it on your phone
Prep
if you
it
don't
in
want to.
there, and
Oh no, I don't care.
Okay.
I was just curious. If
Yes, you will not physically weigh and measure using your
it just kind
phone.
of prepares
It just prepares. And you can use it for notes, again, adding on services, removing services. Yeah, you can rename bowls. So you're doing a dimensional color that has 2 bowls. You want to remember which one is the hairline, which one is her roots, you can rename them. So taking time at the tablet when someone else might need to mix, just to do that, you could then do that from your phone. So, did you guys hear that? You can rename bowls. So, if you have multiple bowls on a service, and one's a roots, one's a hairline, one's the ends, you can rename them. You have 2 different highlight. One's the back, the back half of her head, top half of her head highlight. You want to rename. So if you have a specific timing for a glaze that you want everyone to remember, put that in the rename of the bowl. Rename your bowl mids to ends glaze last 5 minutes. And it's all there.
It's probably kind of dumb, but then like when I do a full forward, I'm always upping my
Yeah.
developer as I go through. How would you track that? The same way of remixing, but is there an option to change the developer on it or? Okay.
Yes. So as I said, there's always more than one way to do anything in Vish. So we're gonna decide like, I mean, I have my way of doing it, so I'll show you my favorite way, but I mean, there's other ways too. So because if I started with a bowl of 20, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna now do a bowl of 25, or I'm gonna just go ahead and go straight to 30. Whenever I am done with a bowl, I like to reweigh it. I don't like to keep things around. And I also, there might be a little bit left in there, right? I wanna remember what I did for that bowl of 20. I can still mix more from that bowl and change the developer, and I can still keep using the bowl. Or I can decide, you know what, I'm done with this one. I want a fresh bowl with just my third, because I don't like to mix dead lightener with fresh lightener. That's me. So I can just tell Vish, am I keeping this bowl or am I using a new one?
But as the
And-
associates is coming to
Yep.
mix me a fresh bowl, they have to reweigh what was wasted?
They do not. They said you don't have to. So if you're still using this and you see that you're running low,
Okay.
you could have her go start saying, you know what, could you go get me another bowl of Landor mixed up, please, with 30 volume.
So you can have a couple
Yep.
bowls in progress.
You can have a couple bowls in progress.
Then
They'll
just
mix.
weigh them all at the
Yep. Well, it said then the associate will mix you. They're going to say, yep, I'm using a new bowl. Change the developer. Bring you your fresh bowl. Take the dirty one away. Come back. Reweigh it, and you can keep that cycle going. You don't have to stop working at all. We just have to make sure that the questions that you need to ask to your associate, and what they need to ask back, just to make sure they're getting you what you need. It's really 3 questions. Do you want more of that? Yes or no? How much more do you want? Again, I like to think of zones of the head and answer with percentages, but you could just say, give me 2 more ounces. And then, do I need to change anything? Yeah, up it to 30, please. Thank you. And then, yeah. So, if we can get that communication down too, I mean, it can help make everybody faster.
When they're like I'm telling you, check Vish at the end of everything, can that be done from your phone?
No. Well, no. Yes and no.
Why?
There is a summary. Yeah, so like there's a summary at the end. So when you've reweighed all of your bowls, on that there is a summary where you can see here's my services and here's how much product I used. But it's really, that's not gonna, I mean,
Not gonna.
yeah, I would say.
So anything that's just the reweighing at the end.
So, I mean, you just said, when it does come time to potentially use Vish to charge, yeah, too far, potentially, then just making sure that if there is an extra product amount, that you'll be able to see that in Vish and make sure, that everyone's aware.
I just want to get
No.
in the habit of
Sure, but I think it's great. I think it's great to check the summary, because then when you're checking that summary, if you're like, hey, wait, that's how much product I used on that, it gives you that opportunity of, hey, do I need to change my service? Is this actually a bigger service than the one I didn't realize I used 6.5 ounces of color. You know what? Maybe this does need to be an all over color instead of a dimensional. Or what we were talking about is it was a dimensional 45, but I used this much product. You know what? I didn't realize I used that much product. I'm going to change it now to a dimensional 1 hour. Because obviously the bigger the service, the more product you get with it. But there's the expectation that you're also charging more for the service then at that time too. So you can kind of use that to go, hey, wait, is this right? If I mix 2 bowls under a retouch and 1 is actually a glaze, again, like that's cool, but it's just going to look like you used a lot of color for a retouch. So maybe that second bowl, you're like, I really should, I did that at the shampoo bowl, but I did put it all over her hair. It's a glaze. You can take that second bowl and move it to a glaze. So then your ticket would not just show a retouch with 8 ounces of product. It would show a retouch and a glaze with normal amounts of product.
Also, sorry, I just
It's okay.
you know how there's like, in this like specifics are gonna be important, correct? Because like there's 2 different kinds of blonde, or like making sure you're putting in the right blonde, not just.
Oh yeah, I mean yes.
It's all
Yeah.
in there, all the products.
I mean,
But
yes.
I'm just saying,
But yes, if you,
know people haven't paid attention to, you know what I mean?
Yes, if you're using Blonde or Plex 9, make sure you're picking Blonde or Plex 9. Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll reorder the wrong stuff.
Yes, that's it. I mean, your inventory is going to be, yeah, so whatever you pick in Vish, mix that. Or if you don't want it, change it. So that was a question too. Like, let's say you've prepped a 5 and a 6, and then you're out of something, or you have just a 6, a 6 stroke 0, but you're out of it and you have to make it using a 5 and a 7. Obviously, you know, it is going to take a 30 seconds extra, but because this is now so being used for inventory, yeah, like you can add, I would add products and I would go, okay, I don't have this. I'm going to have to make it with a 5 and a 7. You could, I mean, you can just keep the 6 and like squeeze out what you want, but then your inventory won't be correct. So.
Is there gonna be like a button or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. There's a button for everything. Before this was used so much for inventory, I would be like, yeah, I get it. Just squeeze your 5 and your 7 into the 6 stroke 0 circle, because that's what you want for next time. But we want to be tracking everything. So that 6 stroke 0 needs to be, I would swap one of them, yeah, for the 5, and then go back and get your 7, and then do your half and half. Or 3/4.
And then will you have to switch it back the next time that client comes in?
Yeah, I would. But that said, once you see how to like swap and remove an ingredient, that's really easy. Yeah.
Okay. And then I work at 2 locations.
Yep.
Is Vish is gonna just like Boulevard?
Yeah, that's a great question. So everything that's mixed in this Vish, your formula will be in Boulevard. It will not be in the Vish in the new in the other location until you've mixed it. Each Vish is its own Vish.
Okay.
As far as having Vish on your mobile, we do have to, are you half and half or are you one location? Okay, we'll have to kind of talk about that. Because the Vish on your phone, you can't, like Vish on the tablet, totally fine. You just can't have it on your phone for 2 locations without like deleting, re-downloading, deleting.
You made a manager.
That wouldn't matter for the mobile. Yeah. And yeah.
Just keep it for one.
Yeah, I'm like, but yeah, your pin will work in both locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the formula will be in Boulevard though.
The first time. Yeah.
And then I'll just
Have to mix. Yeah. But then once it's in, it's in.
So,
Yeah.
like let's say a guest comes here and goes to the promenade, that will still be the guest. Like let's say Sarah makes a formula for somebody and they go to the promenade, it'll be in.
The first time, if that guest has never, yeah, if she puts it in Vish, it'll be in this Vish, and it'll be in Boulevard.
Okay,
So,
they're at the
yeah,
let's say
if they're at the promenade and they've never been mixed in Vish before in the promenade, they're going to be able to see the formula in Boulevard and they'll have to mix it the first time.
It's very, very clear. It spells out all the way, no abbreviations.
Yes. Oh, that's,
Fully, so it's very understandable versus.
just so you're aware, the formulas pushing back to Boulevard are incredibly wordy. They're thorough. Let's flip the script. They're very thorough formulas. So no more shorthand. It's not, but they're going to be consistent. Everybody's formula will be the same. It is just going to be longer than you're used to seeing. Just preparing you. Because it's going to have like the full name, like Willoxon Perfect, 20 volume 6%, 2.58 ounces. Like it's going to have the full name. But you'll know it's thorough. And it'll say like Colestin Perfect. It won't say KP or CT. So, yes. Any other questions right now? You guys had a lot of questions
What
today.
about when a client brings their own product that we have, like?
Oh, that's
That would be
how
clients
often?
who do
Okay.
code well.
Um,
We have for them.
Oh, then I can put it in. Not a problem. We'll just add it. Doesn't take up any extra room. Yeah.
So at
but-
least it shows that you're
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah, I mean, because too, I promise you, like today, it
Like,
might.
it's not added on
yeah.
our inventory.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
they
fine.
provide it for us.
Yeah, but you're gonna want to still be able to
Right.
measure it and save it and be able to mix it from history. So yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we had the Redken brews yesterday that we added, so like that's not a problem. Yeah.
Their associates make sure that you learn today the opening and closing procedure. 'Cause
We
there's
will.
a shutdown procedure and a startup procedure. It's critical because the scales are not recharged. It won't work for the next day and these are the only
But
scales.
these are to be plugged in at all times, correct?
No, only at night. Oh, thank you. You know what? I forgot to say.
Yes, scales not.
So there is also a tip sheet. These have a 25-hour internal battery, and they only get powered down and plugged in at night, so they can just charge overnight. Because they're electromagnetic, if you try and use them when they're plugged in, weird stuff is gonna happen. You're gonna have like jumping weights, where like I put something in and it's gonna jump to 9 ounces and back, and or it's gonna like show that what we call phantom weight, where it's gonna be like, I didn't even touch this yet, and it's showing 2 ounces of product. What is going on? Just always make sure nothing's touching the sides and it's not plugged in when you try to use it. So
Dylan, can you make sure Gina, will you communicate with?
Yeah.
So that
I'll have someone, they filmed me yesterday doing it too and put it on Slack. So I think it's,
Nomás en la noche. Nomás en la noche. Porque es una
What, so we sell some guests like tubes of color.
I don't know how you're gonna do that one. I mean, if you're selling a guest a whole tube of color,
Yes,
We have like color kits.
you could put in like the 2 ounces, right? Oh, well, you could, I don't know, try to
Yeah,
weigh
they
out
do like
water.
at
2
home
ounces.
color.
yeah, I mean, that's true. You could just weigh out 2 ounces of water. Yeah,
But, okay, because we're putting it in Vish, the actual formula. So then-
because you wanna make sure that it gets removed from inventory. Yep,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I would just weigh out 2 ounces of water and,
Not all the time.
well, and then 2 ounces of water for developer.
Once every
Yeah,
2 months.
yeah.
Good.
Because I was like, I'm thinking, yeah.
Just for inventory.
I haven't done, yeah, just for
And we'll
inventory
still bring it
purposes.
through up front the same way.
Yeah.
Now, when you say bring it through, because I never really understand, like, when okay, let's say I have just a retouch on the book, I add a glaze, that switches my ticket onto Boulevard, or it doesn't?
No,
Okay, I have to verbally say,
Please check Vish. I changed.
that's why
check,
it's,
or
it's
not
like
come
checking your
say-
ticket.
And
Yeah,
I'm not
I would say-
saying I added a glaze, I just say,
Check Vish. Yeah. Or as we said,
Well, and then
oye Vish.
That is
Oye
like walking, it's no different than walking your kid
Right.
to the
Yeah.
front. It's the version
Right.
of it, but they'll
Yeah.
have a backup copy, but they're not gonna check somebody out until they check Vish anyway.
now when you say
It's still
check
key.
Vish, they have an iPad up there for themselves?
They're gonna have a holder, they have a little screen that shows your
Window
tickets.
on the
Yeah.
Okay,
Explorer.
They have like a real-time
Browser.
ticket window.
okay.
So why we're learning is make sure that whatever we're checking is correct for your, if you're like check Vish and somebody's like, put something funky down, just be aware of what.
I mean, how many times have you had someone you might have forgotten to say up front? Happens like that. They're gone, and we can't go back and get it, so, and then you have to give it to them for free forever.
Free forever.
They charge them.
Who's forgotten to add stuff to their ticket? Toners. And then I remember,
And you brought up an interesting
Yeah.
point about that yesterday,
Yeah.
because that salon that discovered that there was this one guest who got $5,000 worth of free services because of that. And when the guest switches to another stylist and gets what correctly charged, they're freaked out.
yeah,
It creates a bigger problem than to begin with. What was it, 5,000, something crazy?
yeah, it was $5,000 worth of toners that hadn't been charged for. That was an uncomfortable conversation with a junior stylist. That was not fun for me. But there were the aspects of that too, and like some of it was forgetfulness, some of it was he was not comfortable talking about it. There was a whole myriad of trauma there, but so yeah, this was me who had to have that conversation.
As a Vish person?
I was a Vish person then, but I was full time in the salon too. Yeah, I was. Yeah, that was not a fun conversation. He was giving stuff away.
Good personality, yeah, that happens.
So, I mean, that was yeah. But again, that was not fun. And the thing, I've been out of that salon for a few years now, and I'm like, I wonder if he's still doing it. Why I use the word Tornado Todd is because he was the original Tornado Todd. Yeah, bless his heart, great stylist, fantastic, but Tornado Todd. All right, let's go. Get started. All right. Every night, color is done for the day. We're gonna power down our iPads and get our scales plugged in overnight. So you hold the button up top here till it says slide to power off. That disconnects the Bluetooth and I am going to double tap this power button to shut off the scale. I'm going to do a tap tap, and you're going to hear a beep beep. All lights will shut off. If you tap tap and it beep beeps and there are still lights showing, the scale is laughing at you and you have to do it again. Now that it's off, I'm going to bring it over to my charging station, and I'm going to find its charger, which is one of these black ones, and I plug it in. The lightning bolt lets me know that it is being charged. That's the end of the night. In the morning time, iPad 1, scale 1, I'm going to gently unplug my scale, bring it over to its friend, the iPad. I'm only going to power on this iPad, and I'm going to tap to power on this scale. And you just have to tap. Now I'm going to wait. I do not want both scales in pairing mode at the same time. Otherwise, they could cross pair. If you ever are trying to weigh and measure and the screen is not accepting your bowl, try putting it on the other scale. It's probably cross paired. All right, my iPad is booted up. All I have to do is touch Vish. And because these two have already been paired, I just have to wait. They'll find each other. Give it like 10 dip. There we go. The link light means that my scale and my tablet are now friends. To double check, I can log into Vish and see the green light and that we are connected. This will also show you a battery percentage for the scale if you are curious, if your scales keep dying.
Maybe 35.
Come on. There you go. I've got 100% charge on that scale. Come on over. You don't need your phone at this moment.
Okay.
All right, log yourself in using your PIN. Nope, we have a scheduled client today. Let's see what service she's getting. You see what you want, you touch it. All right, are you doing that service? Otherwise, I could change it, or I can always add on other services. So let's add our bowl. Brand new person to Vish. Let's go start a new formula.
Okay.
Which color line are you going to use for this retouch? Okay. There you go. I always recommend that you're going to narrow it down first. So what color line do you want to mix from?
I'll do color touch.
You can always search for it, and that is a keyword search. But if you pop out that list view, go ahead.
Okay.
Now you can find your level or any specialties, letter or number. So what level do you want?
I'll do 5.
Okay, now it's going to be in numerical order. Find which 5 you want.
Okay.
Okay, do you want any other colors with this? Do you like to mix in a 6 or a special mix?
I'll do 5, 6.
Okay, and find the 6 you want. Beautiful, so we had all of our colors from this before going on. So, but if we forget and we move on and we add to our formula, go ahead, then that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and just pick our developer and we can get our color later. And same thing, I'm gonna recommend you narrow it down first. Okay, what do you want? Beautiful, keep going. So here's where you plan out how much you think you want, right?
Okay.
And I want you to remember, I want you to mix what you're used to mixing, because we're gonna reweigh the bowl at the end. So it doesn't matter if there's a little too much today or you're not quite sure, it's all right. If you don't want to set a target weight, at least set the ratio, because Color Touch mixes, how does it mix?
And then you're still able to do that too, so.
Sometimes it's an equal part.
Sometimes if you're gonna maybe try and get gray coverage, but what is it normally supposed to mix at? 1 to 2?
2 to
Yeah,
1 to 1.
so I would at least do this,
Okay.
right? So we can at least set our ratio. But how much do you think you want? It's a good idea. Let's plan it out. And these are just quick buttons, or I can do any custom amounts.
Whenever it's like an online contest with foils in a base, I usually charge people in base.
Beautiful. All right, let's mix it. Did I tell Vish yet?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job. It's always gonna tell me when it's time to put the bowl on. So now it's asking for it. Go for it. Here's your color. Because you took the time to set your target weight, all I have to do is watch right here.
Okay.
Because Vish knows where I'm going.
Okay.
So I know that I have a target weight of 1 ounce. When this balloon is full, you're done.
Because I do like oils and like a base.
And it's fun. And it's colors.
Yeah. Or if I'm doing like. So I just feel like normally like my hairline is a pretty decent amount of oil. So that's why I charge. It's crazy.
Good job. Ooh, really good. Okay, so you've put that ingredient down. You've picked up the 671. Rule of thumb is Vish is whatever I'm squeezing, I need to touch it. So what's next? Yes, good job. Keep going.
I mean, it's still saying dimensional at the top though.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna change. I think
Nice. Now, that went red, but it's red by barely anything. If you always have the balance option, if it bothers you, but honestly, you've probably always have gone that touch over, you just didn't know because the scales weren't as accurate. So let's keep going. And now you can see, you'd asked for 2 times the developer is done, it did the math for you, fill your balloon.
Be there, right? Because these old notes are important, you know? To see what you've done, what worked. what
Plan, I
didn't
think we
work.
still can put more notes too. Like,
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of developer when it's water, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, good job. Well done. All right, you got to tell Vish you're done before you walk away. Okay? You can either go back to the appointment, add on something else, or you're going to log out, and that means I'm going to apply. Okay, so you go away and you apply that. So you can dump some of that out. Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
So say if you're booked for a partial and then you just weighed out more bowls than you expected, it's automatically going to be like, oh, this isn't full.
So if you, here, come on over.
Because what if?
Yeah. Yes. So what
she
if?
has a lot of hair?
What if? Yeah. What if she has a lot? Then you also get to decide. So she booked a partial, but sometimes people have so much hair that it's really not a partial anymore. You have the option, like, do I need to charge her extra bowl? Like, am I just going to charge her for a partial? Like, she's already been quoted for a partial.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable trying to say, hey, like, it's more work. But if it's more time, really what you should is be like, yeah, I'm only putting half of her head, but there's like, I'm going to charge her for a full. Yeah. So you can change this, right? I can always change this from a custom foil refresh to, you know what? I did so much work.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Or two, if I have bowls, I can always move a bowl to something else.
Okay.
So if I have a second bowl here that really should be a glaze, then the thing that I could hit my 3 dots and I could change and move to a glaze.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, so she booked a retouch, but you're really doing an all over. You can
So
change
when
it.
you come back, when I come back, am I gonna? I need more. Am I gonna add a bowl, or am I gonna press this and press add, and mix more?
You're gonna press that and mix
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 more.
more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Unless it's something separate.
instead of, or if you're changing it in some way.
Like if you're doing like a melt or something. Then,
If
so
you're
you'll do the
changing
first-
this now to a different developer, I would have reweighed, then touched it, then mixed more, because it's going to assume you're using a new
the same-
bowl at that point.
yeah.
But it's still part of the same service.
Okay.
So then if I want to mix more, okay, I just want half of it. Next, okay?
And it's the same developer. It'll be
Oh,
the same
it's me. If I'm going to change it here, will you dump that out for
Oh
me?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we already reweighed our other bowl with a different developer. I want more, but we're gonna change it. So here I am. I asked for 50% of it. Okay, I don't want this developer.
Okay.
Press it.
Swap.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
And I'm gonna come back and I'm actually gonna lower it a little bit
All right.
because it's her more fragile hair pieces. I don't want to do 40 volume there. So I'm ready to go.
Perfect.
I've got everything I need. So now
Go ahead, Mom.
I'm gonna know. There's my 40 volume bowl, there's my 30 volume bowl, and they'll be at 2 different amounts.
2 different. Awesome.
And I can rename them.
Oh, okay. So that could be like front hair.
Yep.
Back hair, whatever.
Exactly.
And that'll be for if somebody else ends up doing that.
Exactly. Or even just for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, why did I, sometimes I'm sure you
Yeah.
look at formulas
Oh,
going,
yeah.
why did I do that?
I'm like, is that my formula?
Did I put all those things in one bowl or those 2 separate bowls? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like adding timing into the naming, you know, whatever you need to do to help yourself remember. Especially because I'm guessing you guys have a lot of people you see once a season, like they go back up north. You might need to make some notes, do what you can so you can remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, how many times do they ask you, what's my formula so I can take it back to my person? Give them a screenshot. Psh, you've laid everything out so their hair doesn't get messed up by the silly northern stylist, and then you have to fix it when they come back in 6 months. And when you are done, no matter what is left over, we're gonna reweigh the bowl. So it's not ready to wash yet.
Okay.
So even if you've used it all, so hear me, even if it looks like this, or if it looks like this, doesn't matter. We're gonna reweigh the bowl because whatever is left over, Vish is gonna calculate it out of the formula for next time.
Okay.
So your history is exactly what you need, right? So log yourself back in.
Oh, do I put
You can put it down, that's fine. All right, you can see your guest is now active.
Okay.
Who do we want? Who are we here to work on? Yeah, exactly. What bowl are we working on? You've got, yep. And what am I here to do?
Reweigh.
Exactly. Now, your bowl is already there. That's not wrong. It's just different. So it's even gonna remind you, if the bowl is already there, lift it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, put it back down. So you either wait until it tells you or just remember to lift it.
Okay.
And you got a happy
So
check mark.
done.
Yep. Now to ask you one last question. Are you ready to complete this guest? Or is there something else you're gonna maybe do? You've got options. So,
No, I'm ready to complete.
okay. Now, if you complete her and then you decide later, you know what, that pulled too warm, I need to, it's okay. I can still get right back in. Pretty cool, right?
Well, yeah.
How do you feel?
On purpose.
Pretty new.
Pretty new, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, you navigated through that pretty easily. It's reading. Just remember to use those reading skills. Yes. And if you get frustrated, breathe, read. I promise you'll be able to get through it. So obviously, if I needed to add another bowl, I could add another bowl. If I need to add another service, I can add another service. So
Like, if, let's say if I'm doing a new client and I'm putting it in a formula, basically, will this save? Like,
oh, everything, yeah.
Okay.
So now, here, we'll pretend it's next time, right? This isn't here. Next time this guest is here, you get to mix from history.
okay.
And now also, this is the cool part. So here's what I mixed today, right? When we mix from history, now you're gonna see the date and you're gonna see what service you did on that history. And then in the next date and the services you did. So if you have guests that alternate between like a partial, a full, a partial, a full, you're gonna be able to go, oh yeah, which one do I want? So when I come back in, then look, we reweighed it. That's what it's gonna tell you to mix next time. Do you see how it's a little different? It just refined it for you. There you go.
So I wonder,
So you're going to pretend like the person is here. And again, has to be within 48 hours. So you're going to go to new appointment and you're going to search for that person. If you cannot find their name, if Boulevard doesn't pull it up, then it's too soon. Do you remember what her name is? Okay, beautiful. Save it. Okay, so where is Rosemary's name? There she is. So touch Rosemary.
Okay, because she is at 10:30 on Friday. Is that why she's all the way up there?
I think it's 10:30 right now, so it doesn't matter the time. So touch Rosemary. Okay, what service is she getting on Friday?
A root.
Okay.
And a haircut, but does that really
Nope,
matter?
we'll just go in and find our route. So I would type in retouch. You have a lot of services, so I think searching will be easiest.
Okay.
And then, which retouch do you want there? Beautiful. Now all the other steps are the same. Is we're going to go through and pick our colors, but then we're going to do a couple new steps because she's not till Friday. So let's add. Yep, there you go. Okay.
Alright, 770. So we got 150, we got Bella.
Okay. Nice. What else do we want?
Add formula first.
Wait,
Or
no.
yeah.
You're going to go back to your
Here?
search bar.
Search bar.
Yep, and you're going to type in your next color.
I am.
Yeah.
771.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Now do you have a third color?
I don't think so. Just that.
Okay, so then we add it to our formula.
It got both of those, even though I didn't
Yeah.
like, save it.
Yeah, because look, there's your shopping
Oh
cart.
wow. Okay. Okay.
Okay, what developer do we want?
20.
Nice. Keep going.
Add.
Yes.
Okay, now 150. Oops. One.
Good
Custom.
job. Customize that.
50. Save, and then that one was 75, right? 75.
Okay. So custom. But what do we have to do? 0.75. Good job. And how does it mix?
1 to 1.
And you're going to do what? Save at the later.
Save later.
Okay. Now, I get more options, right? You're going to go ahead and add that to favorites. Okay, I would just name it Retouch or name it Rosemary.
Touch. Like, well,
Yes, perfect.
okay.
Okay, save it. Now, go back, because Rosemary's not today. We were prepping.
Okay.
How do I get more options? Cancel that appointment because she's not for today. But when she shows up on your books from Boulevard on Friday, I will
It's
not
hard.
start a new formula. I will mix from
'Cause
favorites.
She'll be there. Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, so when my new day comes up on Friday,
Yep.
Rosemary's gonna be here.
Yes.
If I click her, is it gonna be there or I have to go under favorites?
You're going to have to go to favorites and
Where's
mix her.
favorites?
So let's pick one of your people today. Okay, so remember how we touched our bowl and we started a new formula?
Uh-huh.
You're just going to mix from favorites because you've already prepped
Okay.
the formula.
So Rosemary's gonna be empty when I click
Yes.
her that day.
It'll-
and,
yeah.
And then add served.
Yes.
Sorry. Well.
Yes.
Well, wait. What did you just click? Add.
I just added a bowl.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yep.
Mix from favorites, and
Yeah.
then hers will be there.
Exactly.
But it's not right there.
Well, that's not Rosemary.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Well, I didn't know if it was like favorites.
Yeah.
oh, it's just Rosemary's favorite.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, when you save something to a
Okay.
favorite, it is a favorite for the guest.
Okay, okay, that's cool. Because then that could have been hundreds of favorites.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay. All right.
Eventually, there's probably going to be something cool where you're going to be able to favorite products for yourself. So instead of having to like go in, like you always use 5, 6, 7 in KP, 20 vol, Blondor, like you'll be able to like favorite your own products. So you won't have to search through everything.
Okay.
But that's an eventual.
Oh, yeah.
This will be good for like a glaze or something. Like, like, oh, this is so-and-so's glaze favorites because
Yeah.
she always gets
Spring
that glaze.
spring glaze, fall glaze.
Well, even I think you're saying too, like stuff will pop up. Like if we, obviously we're gonna use 7.0 all the time. So 7.0 is gonna. Is that what you're saying?
No, that is an eventual.
Right
Right now,
like eventual.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
yeah.
Okay.
Now, if
All
you
right,
just
so
favorite a formula, you
this-
favorite a
this
formula
was
for
me,
that
that
person.
client.
This was me prepping 2 days from now. If I wanted to prep for tonight, like at 9 o'clock, it's not midnight yet. Same thing, because it's still gonna show me today's schedule. It's not showing me tomorrow's.
It won't show you tomorrow's schedule until tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then just cancel it when you're done. And
Yeah.
okay.
And then mix from favorites.
All right. So you would essentially just add in that whole day on top of the day you just had, but then you'd go back in and delete them.
Yes.
If you want.
If you wanted to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you do it? Do you prep your clients beforehand, or what do you like to do?
Yeah. Like,
But day of. I don't go.
Day of,
I don't
yeah.
go.
like on
Do
your
you-
phone. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So, and then in the old version of it, like, yeah, I would just, I'm also a person who's early.
Yeah.
I'm consistently 30
Yeah.
minutes early. So no one else was at the tablets. I would just stand at the tablet.
You can do
Prep.
it at the
Oh,
tablet?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's just, too, with a big group, and if you are someone who maybe runs late, and you're not going to be able to get here in time to take 7 minutes and prep your whole day, you got your phone. I can sit at my kitchen table,
Yeah.
drink my coffee, prep my formulas. Or, sit at my station,
Okay.
too.
Sounds good.
All right. All right.
I mean, ideally.
So,
Yep.
if you were doing a model or an employee, you will not mix under the actual technique of whatever service you're performing on that model, on that employee, or like a friend and family. Anybody that you're not going to charge a service fee to, that you're just doing, you're going to, and we're going to remove that, you would not mix under the technique, you're going to mix under a service. So I clicked add service, and there will be services here that say model color, employee color. And that is the service that I would mix under. So nothing except for model color. So we don't have the service yet, but it will be here.